always for choosing us. This is the AM Club. We're live on MX24 television. Time now for Lifestyle Daily. Now on Mondays, we give you the opportunity, you that youth out there, to voice out on matters arising on current affairs. Now this morning, we've got one youth activist to my left and another to my right as well. Joining us for today's conversation is Abel Jefferson Intim Fojo. Abel Jefferson Inti Fojo. He is a youth activist. I'm also joined the gentleman in white, Nana Osejisi, Executive Director for Ignite Youth Ghana. But before we go to the trending stories, guys, let me ask you about Gordon's favorite question, that what is your level of French? Really, the ability to communicate in the French language gives you an upper hand in your education, career development, and travel experience. Now come to Alliance Française Accra. At Alliance Française, we help you to develop an all-round language skill set that is reading, writing, and speaking in a multicultural and multinational environment. Now we have experienced and professional teachers. We have flexible time schedule. We have in-person, online, and hybrid classes. We also do have French for teenagers and children aged 3 and above. So guys, you can register by calling 0501 287 814, 0501 287 814, or you can send us a message on 050-128-718, or you can also visit www.afaccra.org. French up your life now. Now, I'm sure that over the weekend or also Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a lot of stories broke. One of them would be the finance minister facing the ad hoc committee. Why? Investigating allegations from the minority as to why he should face a vote of censure, possibly taken out as finance minister. Again, most of you also trooped to the International Conference Center amid all of the challenges to go and watch Anas's expose. Some people are also excited about the minimum wage actually increasing. How do you feel about it? Now today, we'll take your take on it. You can send me a message. You put the message with the number on the screen for you. But once again, I'm joined by Nana Osejisi to my right, Executive Director for Ignite Youth Ghana, and I'm also joined by Abel Jefferson Intim Fojo to my left. Gentlemen, thank you for sandwiching me and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sure we're nearly on the same page about the highlights of the week in the news for you.
Yeah.
Abel, maybe you want to tell me your highlights?
My highlight was about the finance minister appearing before the ad hoc committee, and secondly, that is the increment that came around the minimum wage, and that is per day, the amount that each recognized institution needs to pay its workers. And thirdly is about the Galamsey economy, the expose that Anas made recently.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my highlight for this week.
The three key themes. Are we on the same page, or you have other highlights?
Yes, I think. My highlight is also about the Galamsey expose.
Okay.
At the Accra International Conference.
Okay, did you go?
I didn't go there myself, but then I watched the expose.
Okay.
And also about the ad hoc committee that is created by the Speaker of Parliament, and also the minimum wage, the increment to the 14 cedis 88 pesos. Yes, these are some of the highlights that's supposed to over the weekend. Okay,
we are on the same page then. Shall we start with the finance minister meeting, the ad hoc committee? What's your general assessment? Have you been following the, shall I say, interrogations, the questionings from both sides that have been on the chair or on the panel? What have been your general assessment?
I have been following. So far, it's been wonderful. And last Friday, the finance minister appeared before the ad hoc committee to answer some allegations or some questions. And I think under the principle of natural law, that is the right for fair hearing, the speaker created a room for the finance minister to appear and also answer certain allegations that was being said by the majority or proposed by the majority of parliament. And he appeared, he made his claims clear that all the things that they were saying were lies, and as times I'll make some of the key points that he said along the line so that it will make this conversation nicer.
Nana, following the conversations around that committee that he made, are you impressed by his submissions? Are you also impressed by how the chairs, both sides, actually handled or steering the affairs of that committee over the period, especially on Friday?
Yes, I would say yes. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by the whole and because Ghana as a whole, we practice a representative government because in accordance to Article 1, Clause 1 of the Constitution.
Okay, if you can speak a little louder for me.
The sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana.
True.
And this so meaning the governmental powers are derived from the people. And we also practice a constitutional government. And this is the situation whereby, people, there is an economic outcry. People are complaining about, high cost of living and all of that. And now, they are calling for the finance minister to resign, which was not happening. And then now the minority in parliament are also filing a motion for censure. So, just as my brother said, of course, we practice a democracy. And also, we operate by law. And, of course, there has to be fair hearing. Because before, they have to come into a conclusion that, the finance minister's appointment should be revoked and all of that. We have to give him the opportunity to be heard. So the Speaker of Parliament, creating the ad hoc committee, and also, I think there is no partiality yet. Because we are getting the co-chairs. We have someone from the minority side and someone also from the majority side. Yeah. So in a way, I think everything is in accordance with law. And I think 7 allegations are leveled against the finance minister so far. And following it, I think he's
we're working about 2 of them have been.
Yes.
Can we confidently say that 2 of them have been dropped? Because it looks like the chair, Honorable Katie Amon, said that at least 2 of them has been dropped, and it looked like some members were trying to ask questions that were taking them back to those 2, which he thought, why not? Let's just move forward because he has about 5 more to face.
Exactly.
But my question here is that let's look at the posture of the finance minister. Okay, was there any form of responsibility taking? Some have said, not my words, but some have said that it looks like he still insists that he took on some debt. He still insists that these are external and internal factors. But he personally, as a finance minister or as leader of that government in terms of finance, have not done anything at all. So basically, he's not taking on any form of responsibility, which people find quite absurd. What's your position on that?
My position on that, I said, when he appeared before the ad hoc committee, the minister was very confident and optimistic that when he is given some short period of time, he can help curb all the shortfalls of our economy that we are having currently. He made certain allegations or some claims towards what the minorities and other people are saying towards him concerning the depreciation of the city. And he even made claims that whilst the minority handed over to him, he picked the city from, I think, 15.6% depreciation, average depreciation or so, to 7.9%, of which his claim that he was making was a bit bright. That shows if he is given some short period, he will deliver very well. Again, also stipulated that the conversation between him and his ministry and the IMF is going on very well. Also came about some blueprint domestic domestic avenues in which it can help us fight this crisis very well, restore back our economy, and also help build stakeholders, as in those market traders and everything, to help bring our economy back. He made the brightest submission that very day. And since the minority were putting allegations on him, he also needs to also cover himself up by also saying things that he came and met and has tried to repel, something like the Doomsaw, the almighty Doomsaw, as we know, that collapsed a lot of businesses. And he made we understand that the energy ministry was not lacking wasn't about mismanagement, but it was about funds. So they came in, they pushed much money into the energy ministry, which has also helped save many businesses. And also about the COVID-19, whereby many businesses, many hotels and other recreational centers were closed for almost a year, of which the government, all this cost the government financially, or the revenues towards the government. All these things are all
highlighted in what he said.
Yes, they are all.
Is this to say that you agree to his defenses?
Yeah, I really agree to his defenses, and
okay.
but But since from his angle, that is from the majority side, was 80 ministers then that was asking of his resignation. But currently is about 98 asking for his resignation. But I think with time and everything is in the hands of the majority and the president currently to also speak on as to keep him in his office or
let me backtrack a little bit. What's your overall assessment of the finance minister?
If not for the shortcomings, as in the Russian-Ukraine war and for the COVID-19 that placed the whole world economy into shackles, I think he has really done very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nana, again, I'll bring you the same question. What's his posture? Maybe I should rephrase his posture of, I'm truly sorry. However, I'm not bearing any responsibility towards what is happening now. Almost everything is external challenges or challenges that we all have seen. So for him, as a Minister for Finance, he's actually really done well to get to where we are. And yet he's sorry. How do we juxtapose the two?
Well, I think, the finance minister is confident about his government because, looking at the 7 allegations that was leveled against him, he's so confident about his government doing well in the first term because he tried to cite an example from 2017 when he took office to 2019, how things were going on before the pandemic hit in 2019. Yeah, so, looking at the issue that has to do with the National Cathedral like this, it was something that he was trying to force the previous government that, there were times that in 2014, when Ghana went for the World Cup, there were times that the previous government flew about more than $9 million to Brazil. So, they were bringing allegations against him that the funding of the National Cathedral was something that he took from the consolidated fund and then it was unconstitutional.
Right.
And he was saying that there was a contingency vote for that. And the contingency vote, he buttressed that with the fact that under the previous government, there was something of that sort. So it's like he's so confident about the whole thing. And he still believes in himself that when he's given the opportunity, he can be able to make some
difference. Do you
difference.
have confidence in him then?
Well, I think in a way, I think for now, he should resign.
Okay.
Yes.
What would be your pointers? If you were sitting on that committee, what are some of the questions you'd have asked him, directing towards the reason why that vote of censure should happen and why at the end of the day he should be taken out of power, like his position? What differently would you like to assess him on? Okay,
so I'm going to assess him, especially about the issue of the National Cathedral thing.
Okay.
Yes, it's something that I'm going to assess him on. And also, like I said earlier, that it is a representative government, you see. And then at a point, if you are performing and people are saying that they are not okay with your performance and all of that, I think in a way, it is something that you have to listen to the people and do according to what.
Let me ask you a question. This interpretation of we are the ones who have given you power, and so we can take power from you anytime. Is that a reality? Because if you have power and you have handed it over to somebody, you have handed over that power to somebody. You've given that power to somebody, and so you don't have the power anymore. So all you do is hope and trust that that power that's been given to that person, the person will use it right. So if for us as a country, every time we say this person is not doing well, this is quite historic. I know that people come into power and Ghanaians say this person is not doing well, but this particular one, quite historic. If we say that he's not done well, so he should just go, devoid of this man is also giving us many other reasons why he's actually holding the fort. And so we don't think we want to take a minute back and re-look at his reasons that he's giving. His reason that he's giving, does it really sit well with you, Nana?
Yes, his reason that he's given in the way he said well with me, because like I said, all the 7 allegations that were leveled against, the ones that he has been able to tackle so far, he has been able to give enough reasons why.
Are you convinced? Are you convinced about those two out of the 7?
Somehow.
How else would you like it to be?
Yes, like I said, the issue about the National Cathedral.
Well, what about it? About the National Cathedral?
Okay, so he's saying that there was no specific amount that was allocated for the National Cathedral.
Yeah.
And then he was saying that there was a contingency vote that, they had, and then they supported the cathedral with some amount. And then he was trying to, say that, it is something that the previous government also did.
Okay.
So what if what the previous government did was wrong? Doesn't mean, you should also repeat the same mistake.
Okay, good question to look at. Okay, okay. You think that if given opportunity, he will do a great job.
Yeah.
My question will be that, do you remember one of the questions that Honorable Zanato asked about the itemizations of the things that he listed at the time that they were launching it, the cathedral? She said that they had put what they did. They listed the launch of it, this person. However, the costing did not find expression in the budget that at the time that he was reading it to the House. What would that be? She's questioning the transparency and accountability of him based on that particular event that happened. What do you say?
Exactly. The finance minister was through the deliberation that they had with the ad hoc committee. The finance minister made himself clear that he's accountable and also transparent to the House and Ghana in general. He said, even cited the example that every expenditure or everything that he does with the country finances, he makes sure that the House is privy to such information. He made mention of that energy sector fund of which that was close to $1 billion. He made such claims. He also made claims about road funds and everything. So he's trying to project himself as he's transparent, he's accountable, and he's clean, and he shouldn't be doubted.
Okay.
And we should trust him.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you think that's okay?
That's okay for us to trust him, because every expenditure or every bill needs to be presented to the parliament before it's being passed.
Okay. What's your assessment of Katie Herman as chair?
So far.
Why is everybody beaming with smiles? What's your assessment, and what's also your assessment of Honorable Dominic Yanyine?
Katie Herman advocates very well, and some way somehow, since the finance minister is coming from the majority angle, indirectly he needs to protect him more. It's kind of something. He needs to protect him more so that he doesn't expose him much to punches from the minority side. So I think he has been good so far, and one way or the other, it's all part of the game.
You think it's okay to protect him?
Yeah, it's all. Though he's allowing them to ask him questions, but at times there are certain things that he should cover up small. For instance, about the 2 out of 7 issues that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They are all things that he needs to cover up so that they don't prolong the
sitting. I think I understand. What's your assessment of Katie?
Yeah, I also think he's doing well though. But of course, it is something that was foreseeable.
Okay.
They coming from the same party and all of that. And also, I think he's kind of trying to cool the finance minister. Kind of reduce the pressure that is, mounted on him and all of that. Especially looking at how the Honorable Okujeto Abrakwa is posing some of the questions to him.
Yes, some people have said that Honorable Okujeto Abrakwa's question or line of questioning was almost as though he had been found guilty of the allegations because he was using some terminologies like reckless and all of that. Then it looks like he has a judgment of the conversation already. You both are on the same page. But let's look at the finance minister himself as a person. What do you think is going through his mind now? Do you think he's being emotional? I think no public officer would want to face a committee based off some sort of incompetence allegations against you. It started with the fact that he took monies from consolidated funds, some transfer of oil money into some accounts and all of that. GNPC and all the stakeholders have come to clear all these allegations. But for him, there was a part that he said he finds it very absurd that a minister of his nature will be sitting before a committee and for his integrity to be questioned. You know what? For a moment, that really got to me. I felt that, listen, no matter what it is, he would feel the heat and he would feel broken. If you were him, would you just drop the ball?
I think he wants to prove a point. He wants to prove a point. But Well, there is an adage that you should know when to live. You understand?
Well, okay.
And then the bird that stays long on a tree attracts a stone. You see?
Okay.
So sometimes in life, the people who put you there are saying that, I mean, they are not okay with your work and all of that. I think sometimes you have to live for another person to also come.
Do you not think that if he takes a bow now, then he'll walk away with all of these? Like, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to clear the air. So it's only fair that you give him the opportunity to be able to get to the end of it. Then we'll know that, you know.
Okay, somehow it's kind of it's reasonable.
Anyway, let's move on to the Galamsey economy. Exposé by Anna Saremia. What was your expectations before and after?
Honestly, I was expecting something very nice from that expose. Honestly, watching the expose and
did you go?
Yes, okay. I did, and I find out that the work was a bit shoddy. Let me use that word.
Okay.
And he's trying to entrap. He finds a way to entrap his targets, of which that is not a proper way of investigation from my angle. It causes a lot. Even the shaking question, his action was actuated by malice. Like, he's trying to cause you, induce you to say things. And I don't think when you're investigating someone, you need to push that person into a tight corner to conform to what you have on the table. He's having a conversation with the Honorable Minister. He just ended up saying, you come into my premises, I should have offered you a cola. And since I don't have a cola, then I have to give you this cash for shopping. You are trying to induce him in such a way to say things. And I think his action towards that is really causing the nation. Maybe you think he's doing as good, but honestly, he's really causing the nation.
What's the good he thinks he's doing, and what would be the bad?
He think he's helping the country or Africa as large to curb corruption. But in my angle, I even have issue with the timing of which the documentary was being released. I'm having issues with it.
How do you mean?
We are in hard times, as in the world in general. We are in hard times, and the country is in hard times. The country is trying to find its way out. And you releasing such video informs other investors outside that the country has ministries that are porous, of which it doesn't speak all of us. We know that AFTA, that is Africa Continental Trade Area, has its secretariat in Ghana in here, of which we are trying our way to bring in investors to our country. And you are trying to also create a picture that we are having.
Is he creating it, or that's the picture? Is he creating
Honestly,
it?
from the video he was creating.
It looks like he was creating.
Yes, because you are inducing someone with money. And fine.
But if you are not corrupt, you are not corrupt, right?
Honestly, many will fall for that.
Really?
Yes. Coming to me, we had a conversation, and I'm trying, and I'm inducing you, or I'm giving you a gift for shopping. One way or the other will try to push you to say things.
Okay.
And it will push you to say things, even things that are not even there. You try to also say. And from the Honorable Minister, he made it clear that he loves his country and he wants to bring much investors into the country. So one way or the other, he will help the sheikh to establish his business in here. So I think it was a business convo. And I think it was unfortunate. Honestly, it was unfortunate.
So you don't particularly support the minister being relieved of his duties?
Well, that depends on the president.
If it wasn't dependent on the president?
Well, but I think the minister also went overboard by mentioning certain names that he shouldn't have. But
people get carried away from what you were saying.
Yes, and that made the whole.
If the amount was lesser, and the vice president's name was not mentioned and was another person's name, do you think that it will change the whole conversation? You think that it won't be like this? Let me go to Nana. Nana, so you didn't go, but you've been following the expose. Your overall comments on that?
Well, I got a problem with it because we had expectations. Okay, so I mean, here we are that we all have a problem with Galamsey, spoiling our water and all of that, and then our forest reserves and all of that. And then you come up with a documentary that you are going to expose some of our people in higher officers who are engaged in Galamsey and all of that. And I think prior to the primary of the program, I mean, you actually wrote certain things, or you posted certain things on your Facebook that there is a minister of state who said to have audience with the vice president, you must pay $200,000, and also you have to consider the vice president's siblings to be part of the investment and all of that. And also talking about a legal practitioner who is not in government, but also telling you that he can connect you with the president and then the vice, and also about a traditional ruler and all of that. So people were expecting much. But we realized that between the 45 minutes to the 50 minutes, I mean, there was kind of a break in the link, you know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know whether it was a problem with the editing or something. And then he also spoke about the private legal practitioner, which people were expecting to see the private.
Was his name mentioned? I heard no.
No, not really.
Was
not
the chief's name mentioned?
No.
No.
So the only name that came up out of that expose was the finance minister.
Yes, the deputy
finance minister. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so you think that for fairness.
Yes. I mean, how would
you shouldn't induce someone and push that person to a tight corner to give you information.
But we all have known his style of journalism, and we all have known the way his approach to investigation.
I don't think many are not questioning him. That's why he's still on.
But for the first time, people are questioning him.
But I got a problem with it because I don't see the reason why I should engage into something with you, and then I'll film the whole thing, and then I'll go and sit back and edit it, and then probably I might have said something.
How are we all coming to a conclusion that it was edited? How are we all? I get this energy from people, not just the two of you talking, but from people saying that it looked like some things were taken out.
Clearly, when you watch the video, you can see that. Clearly.
Okay, so are you losing some confidence?
Yes, and where we are also losing the confidence is that, I mean, you are exposing leaders who are, I mean, corrupt. And this is the situation after you filmed the whole thing. You take it back to the leaders that you are exposing. So in that...
It's journalism requirement, though. Journalism requirement, you know.
And one way or the other, I also think that after exposing or when you are taking a video of someone, I think you need to let us know your part as well. As in the full video needs to be dropped. You need not to edit it. If it's a 2-hour conversation you had with the person, you need to bring everything on board. Something like the Charles Bissiu issue that happened. From Charles Bissiu, he was saying he didn't request for any money. But Anas said, and from the video, he's saying Charles Bissiu was requesting for money. So I think in this angle, we don't know.
Charles Bissiu contested it, and the charges were dropped. So whenever we talk about Charles Bissiu, it would only be his old videos that will resurface. It will make reference to it. But he contested it, and now no charges at all. Do you think that the finance minister, the deputy finance minister, or minister of state in charge of finance, whichever way, do you think that he should contest it, or he should just let it go? Do you think that he's taking the fall for the party?
I think he can contest it.
He can contest it, right?
Yeah. If I were him, I would.
What grounds?
On the grounds that you can't induce me for me to speak with you about investment, give you my ideas, then later on bring it out as in form of expose. And even on the first contest, how he behaved was not like right. He said, take this to buy some things.
And that's where it all started.
Yeah, that was where it all started. And after seeing the money, he will, one way or the other, also make some comments.
So this video is about 45 to 50 minutes long, and people have said that there seems to be that missing link. As Nana has also said that there's that missing link. And so you would say that if he brought the chief's name, he brought the lawyer's name, or whatever it is, then you feel that it will be complete.
Yes.
Do you think that the title of the expose as advertised and what you watched actually matched? Galamsey economy.
I don't think so.
No.
The conversation that ensued between whoever it is and the minister, was it about Galamsey? It was just a project.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The project, the whole project, I don't have. It was ungrounded. I must be honest. It was ungrounded. Yeah, it lost its content. I don't know the meaning. Maybe it was an ambiguous statement that he was trying to, or an ambiguous title he wanted to use. But
just
it lost the title.
Okay, let's take a few messages from Sule Sunyani KTK. Ghanaians should be honest and acknowledge the crisis around the world. we should not forget about the huge expenditure during global COVID-19 pandemic, distribution of PPEs to the citizens, quarantine of affected people, lockdown of some communities at Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi as well. Okay, workers public workers were at home for almost 1 year, etc. Fellow Ghanaians, let's not forget that members of the NDC are propagandist specialists. They can't do anything if given a chance to rule this country. Inshallah, Ghana economy will bounce back. Long live Ghana, long live NPP, and the battle still remains the Lord. So this is coming from Sule in Sunyani as well. Let me take a few more messages. I'm always proud of you guys. Please keep going forward and keep the show going. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I am PSA from Domi. Nana says on point. Yes, finance minister should be sacked. Good morning and God bless Ghana. Okay, good morning. I'm watching you live from Domi. My name is Jay. Your pundit in white, Nana Osei, is very intelligent. May God bless him for speaking the truth. On his finance minister, first question, the cathedral, let the other guy put his head in shape. He's speaking like he's in the same bed with the MPP. People think that you're in bed with the MPP. What kind of bed is this? Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Guys, I see some of you still typing in your messages, but okay, let's go to the minimum wage. I'll let you have your first bite.
Okay. I think somewhere on 16th November, a meeting was being held between three parties. That is the National Third-Party Committee, of which they all came to a conclusion of increasing the minimum wage by 10%. That is up to 14.88 Ghana cedis a day. And I think they made their submission very clear. I think it was on 3 or more folds that due to the world economic crisis, high cost of living, and also due to the economy and how we are struggling in buying or accessing foods and other stuff. So it was due to such 3 or more allegations. That's why there was an increment from, I think, 12.49 to 14.88, of which, from my side, I think they have been a bit considerate, even since we are in this hard times. They have thought about we Ghanaians very well, and they are trying their way out to also help us, and one way or the other, to also help fund us as well. And I think the labor minister made it clear that every recognized institution or organization should make sure that by 1st January 2023, the payment or the minimum wage that has been agreed with that the third-party committee should be accepted, and anyone who doesn't go with it will be punished or arrested.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nana.
Yes. Okay. So I think it's a good step by the Ministry for Labor and Employment and Labor Relations, because in accordance to law, I mean the tripartite committee sat down, and then there have been an increment and all of that from 13 cities 53 pesos to 14 cities 88 pesos. At least that is a 10% increment, and I think it's okay. And also looking at the cost of living allowances, that they also increase it to 15%. I think it's a good initiative by the government, even though that is not enough.
It's something to look at.
Working for 8 hours a day and then being entitled to...
But does the government have it? Is government able to collect enough revenue to be able to even increase our wages?
That is also an issue.
I mean, government don't have enough revenue. This policy, it is the duty of the government to ensure the well-being of the citizens.
Sure.
So I think the government have to put in more policies that will kind of generate revenue for the state, so that we can increase.
One of those policies was e-levy. Did we accept it? Yes. Let me take a few comments as well. So on the wages, so Ronnie, here are some of your comments on the internet. You've said that when I was building my house in Tema, The going rate for a mason was 90 Ghana cedis, and that of a laborer was 70 Ghana cedis for block works, and 100 Ghana cedis and 80 Ghana cedis for concrete workers. What's the difference between concrete and block work? This is not the same.
No, they are different.
They are different, eh? Okay, per day respectively. Straight up, I offered to pay 110 Ghana cedis and 90 Ghana cedis for all workers respectively. This means that I was paying them more because block works and plastering comprises about 70% of the work. The result was that they stopped checking time. They always turn up before 7 a.m. and worked until 6 p.m. Not once did I ever have any reason to complain about either pilfering or stealing. However, my neighbor, who was also putting up his building at the same time, once complained that he suspected his mason of stealing his cement and wondered if I was experiencing same at my end. I told him, nah. 1 week later, he told me he had caught his mason with 20 bags of cement loaded on an Okada. I asked him how much he was paying him, and he said 70 Ghana cedis. I told him he created a thief, and that he was wholly to blame. He didn't like that I said what I said, but I stand by my words up to today. On our own government, our government has turned the vast majority of us into petty criminals, and collectively, we are bleeding our nation. I don't know if you agree to this, but let's go. People are working for minimum wage. People working for minimum wage would go and stand in the hot sun for hours to vote for these politicians who are returning the favor, proudly announces an increase in minimum wage that cannot even buy one complete meal, not to talk of the 3. Okay, minimum wage of 8 hours that can't even buy one food in the current economic situation. Even 50% increment salaries, 2023 is not enough. Yet the 15% COLA is seen as a favor. Now the new Ghana minimum, oh sorry, I didn't say, Noah brought that. Earlier one was from Kelvin Kwesi. The first one was from Ronnie. Now let's go to Rich Pedon. Says that this new Ghanaian minimum wage clearly shows that Ghana has gone backward under Akufo-Addo and NPP leadership. The minimum wage on the full final year of the previous government in 2016 was 8 cedis, equivalent to between $1.8 to $2 in that year. Now the proposed minimum wage of 14.88 Ghana cedis for 23 is only equivalent to $1 today in 2022. There's no guarantee that it would even be worth $1 in 2023. It is most likely to be far less than that, bearing in mind the depreciating cedi. The UN's absolute poverty line is $1.9 per day. So Akufo-Addo and his MPP government are in effect telling Ghanaians to accept poverty minimum wage. It's quite a long read. Wow. Ghana, less than a liter of petrol and diesel. Also from Henry Mano. God go punish them one by one. Lack of wisdom, my people perish. A country blessed with natural resources, but bad leadership, no wonder they are being exposed one by one. Ronnie again, our minimum wage is $1 per 8 hours. Pathetic. Also, Mary Konedu, when was the last time a Ghanaian worked for 8 hours, actually? Is this a question for the gods?
Yeah, question for the gods.
I've seen that you have sent lots of messages concerning the minimum wage.
Yeah.
Nana here thinks that it's not enough, but at least something to insulate us. You also think that it's not enough, but something to insulate us. Gentlemen, I'll take your final comments on everything that we have discussed today. Okay, let's see. The guy with the shorts... the guy with a short sleeve is an MPP communicator. Let's call the spade a spade. He should stop massaging the issues. I am God's way, Kojo. Okay. I am. Good morning. Is that the first time of doing the newspaper review? In fact, I like the discussions. Oh no, we've been doing it for a while. Tune in next week and you'll love it again. I am a Siedu from Busua. Thank you so much. Finally, okay. You didn't send your message. Julie said hello. Okay, guys, Nana, give me your final remarks.
Okay, so I think so far the government can do much, even though with the issue of the minimum wage like this, the government can do much. I mean, the 10% increments is a good step, but I think they can do more. Okay. Because looking at the cost of living now and all of that, I think the government can do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you hoping that by the end of the 5 remaining charges, the finance minister wouldn't be up for vote of censure?
Even if they finish everything and then they call for the vote of censure, I mean, looking at Article 82 of the Constitution, the Constitution reads that the president may.
Yeah.
So it is not something that we are certain that even after the vote of censure, the president is still going to revoke his appointment.
Yeah?
Honestly,
the man who is in bed, you need to wake up.
Honestly, from my point, from where I'm sitting, I believe strongly that the government is in line.
Okay.
The government is trying its maximum best to adhere to measures that will bring the economy back and also put us up front. So I think we all need to come together to rally behind the government by patronizing to our goods and also doing well in paying of our revenues. Because it's our revenues that is being accumulated, and we strike average of it in form of paying the minimum wage. So I think if we don't do well on that, the minimum wage will still be on that same level. So I think if we accept that we are true Ghanaians, then we have to do well when it comes to our minimum wage as well, and also support the government fully, and let's see how it goes.
Thank you, gentlemen. I've been talking to Abel Jefferson Inti Fojo, youth activist, and I'm also been talking to Nana Osejis, Executive Director for Ignite Youth Ghana. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. All right, guys, the Small the AM Club. Let's motivate you. #Motivation Monday.